You just leave me at home? In the villa, Lin Batian looked at the mother and son sitting on the sofa with a resentful look. His eyes were very resentful, like a poor abandoned child. Lin Sun and Gu Yinyan looked at each other, feeling a little embarrassed and not daring to look Lin Batian in the face. Ever since they came back from the concert, Lin Batian learned that the two had made an appointment to go to the concert. He had been thinking about it and asking why he didn't take him with him. Gu Yinyan finally couldn't help it anymore and said, "Hey, don't I understand that you are busy with work? You don't have time to accompany us. The 2 extra tickets are given to Xiaobang and his partner." Lin Batian said expressionlessly, "But I had a rest yesterday." Gu Yinyan. "Besides, our family's wealth is enough to last for several years. What if we lose one day of income?" Gu Yinyan had a headache. "Why are you so stubborn? You don't like little fresh meat either." Lin Batian glared. "Is that Xiao Xinrou's thing? It's hard for the family to go out and have fun. Now it's better. I just missed it. You didn't take me seriously at all. Where is my family throne?" Protest. Comrade Lao Lin finally broke out this time. Lin Sun opened his mouth in an O shape and looked at his father in shock. "Is Dad about to rise? Is it true that our Lin family is strictly governed by husbands?" Gu Yinyan was also stunned, and then she glared, "Lin Batian." Lin Batian was startled when he was yelled, and half of his momentum was lost. What happened?" Gu Yinyan had a sneer on her lips. Okay. Have you drunk too much horse urine? How dare you speak to me like this?" Lin Baishan's expression changed, and he was about to speak. What did you say when we were together? Have you forgotten the 3 chapters of the agreement?" Gu Yinyan was now a strong woman, exuding the domineering aura of the head of the family. Lin Sun huddled in the corner, shivering. Lin Baishan's mouth twitched. "I haven't forgotten." "Recite it again." "First, don't make your wife angry. Second, you can't yell at your wife. Third, listen to your wife in everything." Gu Yinyan crossed her arms and said, "Now explain what you were doing just now." "This?" Lin Baishan's face looked like an eggplant beaten by frost. The family status of the emperor has directly become the family position of the younger brother. "Come into the room with me. Today, I want you to understand who is in charge of this family. How much money can you make to become a powerful person?" Gu Yinyan grabbed Lin Baishan's ear and entered the room directly. Lin Sun watched this scene silently, praying secretly for his father. Ding dong. At this time, a mobile phone alert sounded. Lin Sun took out the message he had just changed and was shocked when he saw the note was a message from senior sister Jiang. After glancing around and seeing no one there, he returned to the room with a somewhat excited expression. "Senior Jiang." "Hi. Junior brother, are you there?" "Qingfeng Xuan you. My senior sister is here." Silly laugh. At the same time, Jiang Yunxiao, who returned to the rental house, had a sly smile on her lips. She glanced at Su Chinger, who was drying her hair, then rolled her eyes and quickly took a photo. Select original image, send. Ding. Jiang Yunxiao. Picture. Qingfeng Xuan you. At this time, Lin Sun took a breath of cold air in the room. He stared at the picture sent from the other side with wide eyes. In the picture, Su Chinger is wearing a set of pajamas. There are several cow patterns printed on the pajamas, which makes her cuteness to the max. The pajamas are long-sleeved and basically reveal nothing. However, Su Chinger is leaning sideways at this time, with her head slightly tilted, holding a hair dryer in her right hand and blowing her hair. A faintly beautiful face can be seen, pure and lustful. Lin Sun couldn't imagine that a girl could combine cuteness, pure lust, aloofness, and sisterly style into one body without any sense of disobedience. It's so beautiful. Just when Lin Sun wanted to save it, suddenly a prompt, the other party withdrew a message, appeared, and then the screen went black. Lin Sun. Senior. If you do this, your life will be shortened. Jiang Yunxiao was smiling like a cat that had stolen something, and her Gigi laughter finally caught the attention of her best friend. Are you feeling spring? Su Chinger glanced at her calmly. Jiang Yunxiao quickly said seriously, No, I just suddenly thought of something fun. Su Chinger glanced at her lightly, turned around and continued to do her own thing. Zhang Yunxiao looked at Su Chinger curiously. She was thinking, what would it be like if the cold school beauty and the son of the richest man were together? Thinking of this, she clicked on WeChat again and entered in the chat box with the comment milk dog student. Lin Sun had been keeping messages since just now. He was afraid that if the other party sent another photo, it would be withdrawn before he could keep it. Then the news came. Senior Jiang, do you want Shishi's WeChat account? Lin Sun's eyes lit up and he entered quickly. Qingfeng Xuan you. Really? The other party directly proved it with actions, and soon sent a friend recommendation. This time, Lin Sun directly used the hand speed of being single for 18 years and clicked repeatedly. Add confirmed, send. Waiting for friend verification. After doing all this, Lin Sun showed a victorious smile. But suddenly he was confused. Damn it. What did he do? He actually directly added the fairy senior sister? It's so sudden. Won't it scare her? She doesn't think I'm casual, does she? So sloppy. Lin Sun was extremely upset, but it was already too late. At this time, he saw that the message in the chat box had been withdrawn. Seeing this scene, Lin Sun was stunned again, and then he didn't seem to regret it anymore. Fortunately, he had already added it. It depends on whether the senior sister agrees or not. The other side, Zhang Yunxiao encountered a big challenge in life. At this time, she was sitting on a chair like a primary school student, with her back straight and looking at Su Chinger with a bright smile. Sure, what are you doing? I'm just chatting with my friends. Su Chinger crossed her chest with her hands, and the squeezing of her hands made her already plump curves even more sexy. Even Zhang Yunxiao couldn't help but glance at her while he was talking. Mom, what did you eat to grow? Why can't I do it myself? Su Chinger's eyes were calm. She was holding a mobile phone in her hand. That mobile phone belonged to Zhang Yunxiao. The screen was still on at this time, and she was still in the chat interface with Xiaomi Go. The laughter of her best friend just now made her suspicious, so she took advantage of the other party's giggle to grab the phone and take a look, and she just happened to catch this guy selling her best friend on the spot. She withdrew the message without even looking at it, staring at Zhang Yunxiao with cold eyes. Tell me, who bribed you? At what price? Zhang Yunxiao chuckled. It doesn't matter. How could someone buy our relationship? Su Chinger looked at her with a sneer and said nothing. Zhang Yunxiao looked at his nose and heart, feeling suddenly embarrassed. Apparently, she has a criminal record. Su Chinger glanced at her lightly and then looked at the phone page. The puppy's younger brother? Who is this? It's the handsome boy who is the son of the richest man and sings a duet with you. Zhang Yunxiao responded honestly. Su Chinger was startled. Was it him? Ding! At this time, a message came from the other side. Qingfeng Xuan you. Thank you, Senior Jiang. Senior Jiang, can I treat you to dinner? Are you free? The corners of Su Chinger's mouth curved into a mysterious arc, and her slender fingers clicked on the phone a few times to send. Senior Sister Jiang. Okay. Oh yeah. In the room, Lin Sun punched the air several times excitedly. Senior Jiang agreed. Of course, his target is not Senior Jiang, but Senior Fairy. He hoped that Senior Sister Jiang could persuade Senior Sister Fairy to come out together. He was happy that he was finally one step closer to the Fairy Senior Sister, just like a boat drifting in the waves and finally seeing the land. But then he felt a little uneasy because he added the Senior Sister as soon as he got excited, and he didn't know if she would agree. Meanwhile, inside the rental house, Su Chinger returned the phone to Zhang Yunxiao and said, Okay, Zhang Yunxiao, you can betray your best friend for a boy who you haven't known for a day and doesn't know anything about her. One day if the other party offers some benefits, wouldn't she be able to push herself into their arms? This honey should not be kept for long. Hee, sure, I was wrong. I also wanted to tease the younger brother on a whim. Zhang Yunxiao smiled playfully. She took the phone and clicked on the interface. Her eyes suddenly widened. F***K. Sure. You? Is this what you typed? Su Chinger raised her chin slightly. What? Zhang Yunxiao scolded her a few times, and then said, Sure. Do you really agree to go out to eat with your junior brother?
Suinges he sneered. Do you agree?
The phone belongs to you, Zhang Yunxiao. What does it have to do with me? Su Chinger. Jiang Yunxiao. So angry, but still keeps smiling. But I have to remind you that you have to deal with the troubles you cause. Just take your time. Su Chinger said lightly and returned to her computer desk. Jiang Yunxiao's face was tangled. She looked at the WeChat interface and felt worried for a moment. You have agreed to this. How can you refuse? It's over. If she refuses, the other party won't spend money to send someone to put a sack on her, right? Hiss. Too horrible. She hasn't lived enough yet. Thinking of this, Jiang Yunxiao looked at Su Chinger. Snort. No, I have to drag my best friend into the water. We share blessings and share hardships. She is my best friend in China. At this time, Su Chinger logged into the computer and suddenly found a 1 marked in the upper right corner of the WeChat contact. She clicked on it and laughed angrily. Good guy, my hand speed is still slow, and that kid has slowed me down. However, Su Chinger quickly frowned. Generally, when people of the opposite sex add her, she will add them temporarily except for official reasons, and then delete them after processing. She basically does not add any other men. Only. Thinking of the chorus that night and the eye contact between the two, Su Chinger's mind suddenly became a little confused. How could she be emotionally affected by a boy she had only met 3 times? Su Chinger, you have been too busy recently. She shook her head, and then hesitated for more than 10 seconds before clicking the mouse and agreeing. Ding. I passed your friend verification request, and now we can start chatting. At this time, Lin Sun was taking a shower. He put his mobile phone on the bed. The screen of his mobile phone turned on, but he did not hear it. After Su Chinger clicked agree and waited for 10 minutes, she didn't see a message from the other party. She frowned. What's the meaning? Aren't you going to add me? Does she still need to initiate the topic? Oh, brother. Then Su Chinger curled her lips slightly, closed the WeChat interface, and started to brush up on her classes. Half an hour later, Lin Sun came out of the bathroom. He wiped his hair with a towel. The first thing he did was to check his cell phone. He didn't know why, but when he was taking a shower, he always had a premonition that there must be a message on his phone. The button turned on and the screen turned on. Sure enough, there was news. The first thing he saw was the message from Liu Peng. Lin Sun clicked on it habitually and was speechless after seeing the message from the other party. Time, 1945. Fatty, brother Sun, how do you use this set picture? Fatty, I heard on the internet that there are pros and cons, but I don't know how. Fatty, brother, please help. Time, 1947. Fatty, brother Sun, please save brother. I can't. Fatty, is 1 minute considered normal? Fatty, woohoo, my eternal fame. Ha ha ha. Lin Sun looked at the news and suddenly laughed out loud. The more he laughed, the more exaggerated he became. He directly replied with his voice, Fat man, my brother has a moment of silence for you. It's okay. Just relax. I'm not laughing at you. I usually don't laugh. Ha ha ha. Fatty, brother Sun, murder and heart-wrenching. Fat man, I'm not alive anymore.
Ah.
Lin Sun laughed so hard that his stomach hurt. He said, should I find a doctor to look at you? Fatty, that's okay, but don't tell others.
Lin Sun, ok.
What's your partner's attitude? Fatty, damn, she always comforts me. Lin Sun chuckled. It seemed that his partner still treated him well. After chatting with the fat man for a few words, Lin Sun was about to log out of WeChat. But suddenly he realized something was wrong. I passed your friend verification request, and now we can start chatting.
Nickname, Yi Chengxi.
Poetry? Looking at the portrait again, Lin Sun was suddenly shocked. Senior sister? She agreed to the friend verification. Damn it. Lin Sun checked it carefully and repeatedly, and then confirmed that he had added senior Su Chinger's WeChat account. Marvelous. Lin Sun was extremely excited. He clicked on the chat interface, clicked on the input box, and typed. How to start a conversation. Sit online and wait for the military advisor. Hello? No. We'll chat to death from the very beginning. Self-introduction? It seems like senior sister doesn't know who I am, right? After hesitating for a long time, Lin Xun mustered up the courage to enter 2 words. Qingfeng Xuanyu. Senior sister?
Yu Chengxi, yeah.
Lin Sun looked at the other person's reply and fell into deep thought. What should we talk about at this time? At this time, Su Chinger sent a message. Jui Chengshi. Who are you? Very good. I really don't know who he is. Lin Sun organized his words and started typing. Qingfeng Xuanyu. Well, my name is Lin Sun, Xuemulin, and the son I am looking for is the boy who sang with you that night. Ju Chengshi. Oh, it turns out to be you. How come you have my WeChat account? Lin Sun scratched his head, and then he decided to confess. Senior Zhang recommended it to me. Senior will not mind, right? When Su Chinger saw the reply, the corner of her mouth curled up, and she glanced mockingly at Zhang Yunxiao, who was playing the game. Look, they will recruit you directly.
Ho, Ainis Junior.
Su Chinger replied. No. Are you sure of getting into NTU in the college entrance examination? Take the initiative to start a conversation. Lin Sun suddenly became excited. He had no topic to discuss, but he didn't expect his senior sister to understand him so well. Reply. Yes, deleted. Yes, I got the answer right. I think the score of this college entrance examination should be around 700 points. Su Chinger was a little surprised. She was still a bully in elementary school? A score of 700 is enough to get into NTU. Why do you want to get admitted to NTU? Lin Sun's face froze, and he couldn't help but think of Su Qing's appearance in his mind. At the beginning, it was a goal set with her, but in the end, he was the only one to fulfill it. That night, Lin Sun and Su Chinger chatted for 2 hours. Of course, they all chatted together. Su Chinger found that the other party was a bit slow in replying to messages, and every time she responded, she felt like she couldn't laugh or cry. Are you that terrible? Do you have to be careful when typing? Looking at the green and white chat history, Su Chinger fell into deep thought. She had been chatting with a boy for so long? Is this really her? Shaking her head, Su Chinger was too lazy to think about anything else. She tidied up, turned off the computer, lay down on the bed, and went asleep. Fairies also have to sleep. At this time, Lin Sun scrolled through the chat history several times. Every time he looked at it, the corners of his mouth raised a little, and in the end, it turned into a silly smile. From the chat, he learned that Su Chinger was about to enter her junior year, and that the other party was a finance major. Other than that, he did not disclose anything else. Lin Sun asked her if there were many people chasing her at school, and the other party's answer was that she didn't pay attention, and she didn't know. This made Lin Sun dumbfounded. In fact, he knew that beauties like Su Chinger must be pursued by many people. There are too many outstanding boys in the university. He seems to be too ordinary, right? Apart from money, all he has left is his handsome face. After finishing the chat, Lin Sun read the chat history 5 or 6 times before falling asleep peacefully. That night, Lin Sun had a dream. In the dream, he and Su Chinger were together, and the fairy senior sister was not as cold as in reality, but full of tenderness, just like a little daughter-in-law. However, when the two of them walked into the campus holding hands, a group of men suddenly surrounded him from all directions. They all wanted to eat Lin Sun with their eyes, and their faces were full of ferociousness. Are you worthy of being the boyfriend of Goddess Su? You don't want to take a piss and look at yourself. Slim arms and legs, the little thin dog is so ridiculous. If you stay with the school beauty like this, you will probably call your family to collect the body in a few days. Slim dog, Goddess Su won't like a playboy like you. That's right. Money can never buy Goddess Su's sincerity. Shut up. Snapped. In reality, Lin Sun woke up from his dream. He shouted loudly and slapped him out subconsciously. Who would have thought that a loud slap sounded, and a burning pain came from the palm of his hand? Lin Sun was stunned, and then he opened his eyes and found that Lin Batian was covering his face and looking at him with wide eyes, his face full of disbelief.
Lin Batian. Ok.
You are so filial. Even you dare to beat me. Lin Sun, it's over. Shouldn't I have slapped my father? Dad, why did you show up in my room? Lin Sun decided to strike first and asked. Lin Batian rubbed his sore face, which turned red as expected. After all, Lin Sun felt the heat in his palm. He said angrily, Your mother asked me to come over and wake you up for lunch. You kid. What time is it, and you are still sleeping? Lin Sun was stunned for a moment, then looked at the alarm clock. It was already 11 o'clock. He realized that he must have slept too late last night, which made him a little tired. Dad, I'm sorry, I had a nightmare. Does it hurt? Lin Sun chuckled, a little embarrassed. Lin Batian glared at his son resentfully and said, Are you sure you have a nightmare? How did I find that you were smiling happily in front of you? Lin Sun's face froze, and then he said with some displeasure, Dad, you actually peeped on your son sleeping? When Lin Batian was discovered, his face showed a look of discomfort, and then he said, Ahem. What's that? Come out to eat quickly. The food is almost cold. Lin Sun's mouth twitched, and then he had to get up. Eating a sumptuous lunch, Lin Sun's eyes were a little complicated. I still miss my old life. As soon as these words came out, Gu Yinyan and Lin Batian both looked at Lin Sun. Son, what's wrong? Are you not getting used to it? Gu Yinyan said with a smile. Lin Sun shook his head. No, I'm just sighing. Maybe it's because I'm used to a simple life, and it's hard to change my mind. Mom, don't worry, who doesn't want their life to get better? You're right, you'll be in peace now that you've come. My son, I'll take you to visit the company another day to see your future industry. Lin Batian laughed. Lin Sun said in surprise, Dad, are you kidding me? I don't even know the most basic things about the company, and you still want me to take over? Lin Batian said seriously, You can't learn if you don't know. Dad has worked hard for so many years just to pave the way for you. Now basically the big thing is gone. You only need to sit in the office and blow the air conditioner. Lin Sun shook his head quickly. I'm still young and haven't even finished college yet. He has no interest in these things. His father is the richest man in the country and has too many properties to count. He probably can't even count them. How can he still manage them? Lin Baishan's face was full of black lines. You should also think about your father. In order to train you, my father has not honeymooned with your mother for more than 10 years. Lin Sun rolled his eyes. Dad, you don't feel blushing when you say this. I have been kept secret for so many years and I didn't say anything. Lin Batian felt a little achy when he saw his son who couldn't get enough food and salt. Well, since you're not interested, okay, you can quickly find a wife and you two can manage it together. Lin Batian waved his hand. Lin Sun said lightly, No, even if I have a girlfriend, I still want to spend my honeymoon with her. I don't have time. Lin Batian. Treason. Gu Yinyan giggled as she watched the father and son bickering, and then she suddenly said with some gossip, By the way, son, I sang with that girl that night. What happened next? Did I get her contact information? Lin Sun was startled and looked at his mother in confusion. Mom, how do you know? God, is Mom so perceptive? Lin Batian also pricked up his ears at this time. Gu Yinyan looked proud. Your mother, I haven't seen any big storms. You are just young, and I don't know about it? Lin Sun smiled bitterly and said, I added WeChat and chatted for a while. How's it going? Do you like it? Gu Yinyan said with a smile. Lin Sun rolled his eyes. Is this a problem that I don't care about? They are so good, so I'm not worthy of them, okay? Nonsense. I, Lin Baishan's son, is the best among men. Is there any woman in the world who is not worthy of my son? The genes of our old Lin family are so strong, and you are the son of the richest man. To put it bluntly, you want to marry me, the one at the Lin family gate can line up around Liangsheng. Lin Batian said domineeringly. Where did you get your crazy self-confidence? Are you still genetically good? Your son's appearance will follow mine, okay? Just like you? Gu Yinyan said speechlessly. Who said that? You're right. My wife is right. Lin Sun glanced at his father with disdain. He must not be a strict wife in the future. Look at how hard he is being manipulated. 2 days later, it was Saturday. Lin Sun went out early, and he specially changed his outfit today, looking like an idle trainee. The parents were stunned by his operation. My son went on a date so soon? Alipay credit 100,000 yuan. Alipay credit 100,000 yuan. Lin Sun, who was sitting in a taxi, died immediately. The driver was also startled when he heard the sound. He smiled and said, The ringtone on your cell phone is quite good. Hee hee, yes, not bad. Lin Sun could only smile in agreement. He turned on his phone and found that Alipay had 20 extra Ws. Mom, son, when you go out to invite a girl to dinner, you must eat well. Dad, work hard. Just have fun. Lin Sun didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but his heart was still warm. It's great to have a richest parent. Ah, sure. What do you think I should wear? In the rental house, Zhang Yunxiao walked up to Su Chinger with some clothes in her hand and asked. Su Chinger raised her eyebrows. It's not like we're going on a date. Why are you wearing something so nice? Zhang Yunxiao had a bitter look on his face and said, the other party is the son of the richest man. If I were to wear ordinary clothes, I might be called a village girl.
Su Chinger.
To be honest, with Zhang Yunxiao's appearance, she looks very beautiful even in aunt's clothes, so there is no need to worry at all, right? And according to Su Chinger's understanding, Lin Sun is not that kind of person who sees people through colored glasses. Do you like Lin Sun? Su Chinger suddenly asked. Zhang Yunxiao was startled, then narrowed his big eyes and smiled. Are you jealous? Su Chinger frowned and sneered. Do you think it's possible? Zhang Yunxiao looked proudly at her best friend who changed her face. Haha, she still wants to escape from this lady's dazzling eyes with all her thoughts? A hint of cunning flashed across Zhang Yunxiao's eyes, and she asked tentatively, Sure, are you going? Su Chinger glanced at her. Didn't I only date you? Zhang Yunxiao handed her the phone. Well, look, he said he was going to date us. Hurry up, change your clothes, you're going to be late. In the end, Su Chinger was pulled out by Zhang Yunxiao. Both of them have very striking looks, and they both turn heads when walking on the street. Su Chinger wore a simple purple dress that directly covered her calves. She also wore a pair of white sneakers, revealing a section of her flawless white calves that made people reluctant to look away. What was even more amazing was her appearance. After dressed simply, she only put on very light makeup. You can see that her skin is really flawless, like a fairy. Her temperament is a little cold, giving people a feeling of being thousands of miles away, like a mountain snow lotus, sacred and inviolable. Zhang Yunxiao, on the other hand, is lively and cheerful, taking a sexy route. She is wearing a set of black leather denim. Her top covers just above her ribs, revealing her fair belly button. Her waist is slender, with obvious outlines, and there is a waistcoat line on her belly. Zhang Yunxiao was about the same height as Su Chinger, so the leather pants barely covered 2/3 of her thighs. Her long legs, as straight as chopsticks, were not wearing stockings, so they were exposed to the air. These legs are comparable to leg models. Many people's eyes are still focused on Zhang Yunxiao. After all, her clothes are relatively more eye-catching. Wow, is that a fairy? Mom, I saw a fairy. What beautiful girls, there are 2 of them, 2 different styles. This is the right street for shopping today. Such long legs, I can play with them for 10 years. The girl in the skirt is good-looking, but her figure is not visible in the skirt. The other one is very hot. I don't know who is lucky enough to be their boyfriend. Hey, anyway, it's not you and me. No one here is worthy of them. It's a pity. If my father's genes were better, maybe I could go up and ask for WeChat. You have the heart of a thief, but you don't have the courage to be a thief. Beauty, can you add me on WeChat? The 2 women are so eye-catching, but they are brave after all. I saw a handsome boy walking up to the 2 women with a mobile phone and showing a smile that he thought was handsome. Su Chinger glanced at him, then looked away and ignored him. Zhang Yunxiao, on the other hand, smiled and looked at the boy in front of her. You are very handsome, but I'm sorry, we don't have WeChat. The boy's face froze. He was a little embarrassed after being rejected. After all, so many people were watching. So he smiled and said, Beauty, I want to chase you. Can you give me a chance? Zhang Yunxiao blinked. Do you want to chase me or my bestie? The boy was stunned and glanced at Su Chinger subconsciously. When he saw the other person's fairy-like appearance, his breathing became a little messy. What a nice view. In fact, he thinks Su Chinger is prettier, and just by looking at her, he can tell that she is the woman he can't get. On the contrary, Zhang Yunxiao has a good personality, and the chance of pursuing her is higher. They are all top-notch beauties. Only children do multiple choice questions. I want them all. Of course, this sentence can only be roared in the heart. The boy came back to his senses and smiled at Jiang Yunxiao. Of course I want to chase you. A cold look flashed across Jiang Yunxiao's eyes, and she said lightly, you hesitated, so I refuse. The boy's face froze. Can you still play like this? At this time, no matter how stupid the boy is, he still knows that this beauty is entertaining him, which makes him a little embarrassed. However, under the discussion of the crowd around him, he ran away in despair. What kind of thing? You can tell it's Neptune at a glance. You still want to trick me? No way. Jiang Yunxiao glanced at the direction the boy was running away from, as if he had won a battle. Then she smiled and leaned into Su Chinger's ear. Sure. Are you wearing makeup like this today? Su Chinger's expression paused. She usually doesn't wear makeup. Unless there is a formal occasion, she usually wears no makeup, because her no makeup is enough to crush most girls. At this time, Jiang Yunxiao actually mentioned it, which made her think a little. Why did I put on makeup by accident? Is it because he wants to have dinner with Lin Sun? Isn't it just a meal? Su Chinger glanced at Jiang Yunxiao and said calmly, what's wrong with putting on makeup occasionally? Jiang Yunxiao suppressed a smile. It's nothing, ha. Sure. This is the first time I've seen your arrogant look. TSK. I have to have a good talk with Lin Sun later. Su Chinger's eyes showed a trace of murderous intent. Okay. Then I will also tell him about your glorious past deeds, Jiang Yunxiao. Jiang Yunxiao was startled when she heard this and quickly begged for mercy. No, I was wrong, Aunt. Please calm down. You can't talk about that kind of thing. She is dead in society. When Lin Sun got off the car, he saw the fairy senior who was extremely dazzling in the crowd, and of course, Senior Jiang. Even though he was more than 10 meters away, Lin Sun could feel a fairy aura from her body. What a nice view. Every time he saw the fairy senior sister, Lin Sun thought she was so beautiful. Quickly walking up to the two seniors, Lin Sun smiled shyly and said, Seniors, I'm sorry to keep you waiting for so long. Su Chinger nodded lightly and said nothing. Jiang Yunxiao looked at Lin Sun with bright eyes. Okay, Junior. He looks very handsome. Haha, really? Thank you. I feel okay. You are not as beautiful as you, seniors. Lin Sun scratched his head shyly. He had put a lot of thought into this trip. Jiang Yunxiao's eyes revealed a hint of cunning, and she asked quietly, Tell me, who is more beautiful, me or Sure? Hearing this, Su Chinger immediately looked over, curious about how Lin Sun would answer. Lin Sun was startled, and then instinctively glanced at the two girls. His face turned red, and he hesitated. Well, actually, both seniors are very beautiful. Fairies? Oh no, Senior Su looks like someone in a painting. The fairy who came out is not like the rare ones in the world. She is gentle and cool. What about me? Jiang Yunxiao asked quickly. Lin Sun said seriously, Senior Jiang is also very good-looking and has a good personality, which makes people feel easy to get close to her. Jiang Yunxiao's eyes were curved into crescent moons, which were particularly cute. She smiled and said, Then, who is more beautiful, me or you, Senior Sister Su? Lin Sun hesitated for a moment, then told the truth, Sister Su. Su Chinger tilted her head slightly and raised a slight arc at the corner of her mouth. Jiang Yunxiao's face froze. Are you polite? Lin Sun quickly explained, Senior Jiang, don't get me wrong. I mean you are also very beautiful. What, this I? Looking at the incoherent boy, Su Chinger found it interesting and looked at him with a half-smile. Okay, no need to explain. She won't care. Jiang Yunxiao looked at Su Chinger. Sure. Is this human language?
Shall we go?
She was speechless. There were clearly 3 of us out for dinner. So why did she feel like she was redundant? Lin Sun was a little embarrassed, and there was already a chill on his back. Are all girls so scary? Fortunately, the fairy senior sister is still considerate. Little did they know that Su Chinger came to his rescue because he praised her for her beauty. No girl doesn't like to be praised. Even if Su Chinger knows that she is beautiful, admitting it from others is more convincing. Where do we go next? Jiang Yunxiao rolled his eyes. You have to ask our Richest Junior about this. When Lin Sun understood, he hurriedly said, Shall we go eat first? Hee hee, Junior. Do you want to treat us to a big dinner? Let me tell you, I won't eat seniors who are too cheap. Zhang Yunxiao said half-jokingly. Lin Xun summed it up and said with a smile, Senior, tell me, what do you want to eat? I will pay for all the expenses today. It's great. Zhang Yunxiao looked at Lin Sun with satisfaction, and then asked Su Chinger, Sure. What do you want to eat? Su Chinger said calmly, Whatever, I won't pick. Zhang Yunxiao began to think deeply, and then her eyes lit up. Let's go eat hot pot. A big question mark appeared on Lin Xun's face. He thought that the senior sister would choose to go to some high-end restaurant like Forest Royal Court, but he didn't expect to choose to eat hot pot. Suddenly he realized that what the senior said earlier turned out to be a joke, and he had misunderstood. How are you, Junior? Zhang Yunxiao looked at Lin Sun with a smile. Of course Lin Sun had no problem. Okay, then I'll decide the location. Soon, Lin Sun made a reservation at the hot pot restaurant and called a car. Lin Sun sat in the passenger seat, and the two girls sat in the back seat. Junior Lin, I thought you had a special car to pick you up. Your family won't arrange a driver for you? Zhang Yunxiao raised the topic and asked Lin Sun. Lin Sun explained, I don't think I'm used to it. I think it's not bad, and riding in a luxury car is too ostentatious. Su Chinger glanced at him. She had been chatting with Lin Sun on WeChat for the past 2 days. Through chatting, she knew a lot about Lin Sun. There was no way. This idiot junior fellow student had no intention of hiding anything from her, so he did it all. Zhang Yunxiao looked envious. Hey, when will I be able to live a life of driving a luxury car and living in a villa? I had it in my dream. I'll make one when I go home tonight. Su Chinger hit her mercilessly. Do you think about these illusory things at such a young age? Do you think you are Ma? The corner of Lin Sun's mouth raised slightly. He discovered that the fairy senior sister was not as cold as she appeared on the surface. She could also joke, but she only treated strangers like this and pretended to be distant from others. He also has to work hard to become an acquaintance of fairy senior. Soon, the destination is reached. The hot pot restaurant was still very popular at this time, and when Lin Sun and the other three walked into the hot pot restaurant, they immediately attracted a lot of attention. There is no way. As far as the two women are concerned, they are already the most dazzling presence in the entire hot pot restaurant. Lin Sun is also a handsome guy, but under the background of the two women, his presence is suddenly reduced a lot. Not surprisingly, there was another burst of complaints. The boys' eyes were all on the two women. Their eyes were extremely stunning, and when they saw Lin Sun, they wished they could take his place. Did this kid save the galaxy in his previous life? To be able to stand next to two fairies? Lin Sun looked at everyone with envy and hatred, but he didn't care. Under the leadership of the boss, he came to a box. Oh my God, you booked a private room? You're too careful, Junior. I love you. Zhang Yunxiao looked at the quiet and empty private room and said in surprise. Although Su Chinger said nothing on the surface, there was still a hint of satisfaction in her eyes. After all, there are too many people outside and it is too noisy. Their appearance will undoubtedly attract attention, and they will feel uncomfortable eating hot pot. Lin Sun could think of this, which was considered to be intentional. Lin Sun actually didn't think that much. He just wanted to book a good deal. This box was the most expensive and the best. Even if he had hot pot, he had to show off his status as the richest man. Unexpectedly, he accidentally hit it and got a wave of good impressions. Lin Sun gave himself a thumbs up. He smiled and said, Look at what you want to eat, just order it. Zhang Yunxiao glanced at the menu while shouting that she was hungry. Su Chinger poured a glass of juice for the two of them calmly and gracefully. Passed the poured juice to Lin Sun. Lin Sun quickly took it. Thank you, senior sister. He was probably the first one to drink the juice poured by the fairy senior sister, right? Lin Sun felt like he was surrounded by happiness. Su Chinger didn't feel anything at all. She said, This hot pot meal cost you money, thank you. Lin Sun smiled and said, It doesn't cost anything. It's good that I have enough to eat today, senior sister. Su Chinger nodded slightly, raised her hand and gently brushed the hair beside her ear. The picture was extremely beautiful. Lin Sun was stunned. All three of us were very satisfied with this hot pot meal. The consumption is not high, One meal costs several hundred. In Lin Sun's opinion, it was worth it. You guys wait for me. I'm going to the bathroom. Zhang Yunxiao said something to Lin Sun and the other two, and ran to the toilet. Su Chinger, who looked calm, and Lin Sun, who was a little nervous, were left there. Unlike the previous two times, Lin Sun was careful when he was alone this time. He was sure that he had fallen in love with the fairy senior sister and would feel nervous unconsciously when he saw her. Are you nervous? Su Chinger glanced at him and asked.
Lin Xun groaned. No, no.
Su Chinger smiled half-heartedly. Then why do you stutter when you speak? This. Lin Sun was stunned for a moment, then coughed and quickly adjusted. Well, the senior is so beautiful. This is my first time chatting with such a beautiful girl, so I am a little uncomfortable. Su Chinger asked curiously, You have never been in love? Lin Sun shook his head quickly. No.
No.
Senior sister, I just graduated from high school. What happened after high school graduation? I know some people fell in love in high school. Your thinking is a bit backward. Su Chinger said. Yeah. Lin Sun smiled awkwardly. By the way, senior, is your home over here? Lin Sun asked suddenly. He still doesn't know where the senior sister lives. Su Chinger shook her head. No, I just came here to relax. I will go back in a few days. Oh. Lin Sun was a little disappointed. He thought that the senior sister lived in Liangcheng, so it would be more convenient to ask her out another day. When will your college entrance examination results come out? Su Chinger asked. It should be just these 2 days. Lin Sun estimated and said. Su Chinger nodded. I hope you get what you want. Lin Sun's eyes lit up. Thank you, senior sister. The two of them chatted about nutritional deficiencies from time to time, and Lin Sun gradually became less nervous. Not long after, Zhang Yunxiao came back. Her eyes wandered between the two of them, as if they were catching something. What are you looking at? Su Chinger said calmly. Hey, I want to see if there are any sparks when you two are alone together. Zhang Yunxiao said with a smile. Lin Sun's face immediately turned red. Su Chinger's face darkened. Hee, okay. Where should we go next? Zhang Yunxiao quickly picked the topic. Su Chinger looked at Lin Sun. The latter thought for a while and said, Shopping? According to reliable information, girls like to go shopping. Okay, let's go then. More than an hour later, the three people came out of the mall. As Lin Sun was the only boy, the responsibility of carrying the bag was naturally given to him. Carrying large and small bags, Lin Sun was a little out of breath. It seems that I need to exercise regularly. There were basically things belonging to the two girls, most of which were daily necessities. Of course, they paid for them themselves. Lin Sun wanted to rush to pay, but Su Chinger glared back. In their opinion, even if Lin Sun's family is rich, they are not very close and cannot cheat him out of his money. Although Zhang Yunxiao likes to talk a lot, he is still relatively sensible. After leaving the mall, the sun was already high above their heads, and the three of them found a place to enjoy the shade under a big tree. Thank you for your hard work, Junior, for helping us carry things on such a hot day. Are you thirsty? Just wait here, and we will buy you something to drink. Before Lin Sun could respond, Zhang Yunxiao pulled Su Chinger away. Lin Sun stood there, thought for a while, and planned to put the things down. Lin Sun? Suddenly, a confused voice came from the side. Lin Sun was stunned for a moment. Then he raised his head and looked at the other party. Su Ching? I saw Su Ching standing a few meters away wearing a white dress. Su Ching came over and glanced at Lin Sun. Why are you here? Lin Sun said calmly, Come out and buy something. His tone was a little cold, not as stuttering as when communicating with Su Chinger. Su Ching also felt his alienation. A hint of sadness flashed in her eyes, and a smile appeared on her face. You are very handsome today, worthy of being the son of the richest man. Compared with before, you have changed a lot. You were not very good at dressing up before. Today's Lin Sun made her eyes shine. In high school, Lin Sun wore very ordinary clothes. Although he was a bit handsome, he was not that dazzling. Now, he has a bit more confidence. Coupled with trendy clothes, he is a sunny boy. Su Ching suddenly felt that the boy who had a crush on her was starting to become a good person. It's a pity that she broke the other person's heart. There was no unnecessary expression on Lin Sun's face, and he said coldly, "People will change, right? This is what you taught me."
Su Chinger's face froze. Lin Sun, e.
Lin Sun raised his hand to interrupt her. "Sorry, we are not that familiar with each other. You can call me classmate Lin Sun from now on, or classmate, thank you." He had already given up on this girl. Just think of it as the throbbing of youth fed to the dog. Su Ching wanted to say something else, but suddenly there was a hint of purple in her vision. "Have you waited long?" Su Chinger walked up to Lin Sun and glanced at him. Although his tone was as calm as usual, it contained a hint of gentleness, like a spring breeze. Lin Sun was in a good mood when he saw Su Chinger. He found that Su Chinger was holding 2 ice creams, one in each hand, which immediately made her less fairy-like and more fireworks-like. So cute. Seeing that there was suddenly a girl next to Lin Sun, and her appearance was a little too good, Su Ching's face suddenly turned pale. "Lin Sun, who is she?" Su Chinger glanced at her. She had just seen Lin Sun chatting with the girl in front of her. For some reason, she felt uncomfortable when she saw this scene, so she came over without waiting for Zhang Yunxiao. Su Chinger was a little surprised, because the girl in front of her was still very beautiful, at least on the same level as Zhang Yunxiao. Is this junior brother's relationship with women so good? Junior, who is this? Look, this is the difference. The senior sister uses this to show respect to strangers, while Su Ching directly asked her who she was, with a questioning tone. Lin Sun, of course, stood by his senior sister and introduced her first. "This is my high school classmate, and I just happened to meet him." He turned to Su Ching and said, "This is my senior sister. Her name is Su Chinger." The 2 women looked at each other tacitly. Su Ching's expression was a bit unbearable. She asked first, and Lin Sun actually answered the girl first, and didn't even bother to introduce her name. "It hurts my heart." A flash of satisfaction flashed across Su Chinger's eyes. She was very smart, and could tell that Lin Sun was treated differently. It must be said that she felt a little happy in her heart, and she also smelled an unusual smell. So she stretched out her hand to Su Ching. "Hello, I am Su Chinger."
Hello, I am Su Ingesi.
Note that it is "I am," not "my name." The difference of one word directly puts your identity as the master. It has to be said that Su Chinger has a very high emotional intelligence. Su Ching's face was stiff, but she also stretched out her hand and shook Su Chinger's hand back. "Hello, my name is Su Ching, and I am Lin Sun's high school classmate." Su Chinger smiled lightly. "What a coincidence. Your surname is also Su." "Yes, it's a coincidence. Sister Su, I just heard Lin Sun say that you were a senior. How did you know each other?" Su Ching asked with sharp eyes.
Sister Su?
Do you want to deliberately emphasize her age by retreating? "Ah, sister, you are too young." Su Chinger's eyes flashed with sarcasm, and she said, "I was studying at Nanjing University, and I met Lin Sun by chance." "Nantang University? Such a coincidence?" "Senior sister, I also want to get admitted to Nanta University."
Su Ching smiled sweetly.
"Don't you want to get admitted to Peking University?" Lin Sun Long said nonstop. Su Ching's face froze, and she felt angry. "Lin Sun, you idiot, you actually tried to tear me down." Su Chinger took advantage of the situation and said, "It's not easy to take exam at Peking University." Not to be outdone, Su Ching said, "Yes, I didn't feel confident either. So I decided to follow my original wish and apply for Nanjing University." After a pause, she continued, "This is the goal that Lin Sun and I set together when we were studying together. At that time, we studied together almost every day, so we set this goal together. Activate your ultimate move." Lin Sun's face darkened. "Sister, are you trying to stop me from pursuing my senior sister?" But what Su Ching said was also true, and he couldn't refute it. Confused, what to do? Su Chinger glanced at Lin Sun and saw his expression. There was a hint of anger in her eyes, and she laughed angrily. "Okay, little boy, there is such a story?" But Su Chinger didn't have stage fright. She looked at Su Ching with a victorious face and said with a smile, "Really? It's all thanks to you that Lin Sun can do so well in the exam." Su Ching's eyebrows arched. "I also want to thank Lin Sun. Without him, I probably wouldn't have progressed so fast. This is a girl who is a bit scheming." Su Chinger pursed her lips and smiled. Are you a couple now? He didn't know why. Although he wasn't asking himself, Lin Sun heard a hint of murderous intent from her words. Suddenly, he hurriedly explained, No, there is nothing wrong between us. There is no relationship at all. The murderous intention disappears. The dog head saves his life. Su Qing's face looked a little ugly. Su Chinger was a little surprised. I thought you were already together. Su Qing was about to speak, but Lin Sun said first, Senior, I'm thirsty. There was a hint of coquettishness in her tone. Su Qing looked at him in shock. She had never seen Lin Sun like this before. Su Chinger was also caught off guard. When she reacted, she felt amused and said, Then put your things down. Catching a glimpse of Su Qing from the corner of her eye, she suddenly changed her mind and said, I'll feed you. With that said, she handed the ice cream to Lin Sun's mouth.
Su Ching.
Lin Sun was stunned for a moment. He wondered if he was dreaming. The fairy senior sister fed him ice cream with her own hands? Real or fake? Su Chinger's somewhat confused voice came. Lin Sun came to his senses and quickly took a bite of the ice cream. The ice-cold taste made Lin Sun feel satisfied and even more happy. I feel like the hard work of carrying things is no longer tiring at all. Su Qing looked at the two people who were so close, and her face couldn't hold on anymore. She originally wanted to say that Lin Sun had confessed to him, but now it was no longer necessary. The clown turned out to be herself. Well, I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. When she turned around, Su Qing's eyes turned red. Looking at Su Qing walking away, Su Chinger's aura suddenly cooled down. She glanced at Lin Sun lightly. Put down the things. Lin Sun was confused. What happened? What happened? He still put things down very obediently. Su Chinger handed him the bitten ice cream and asked in a neutral tone, Are you happy if I feed you ice cream? Happy. Lin Sun nodded subconsciously, and when he came to his senses, he quickly defended, Shwe. Senior sister, I? Su Chinger glared at him and then said, Is that your lover? The tone was a bit dissatisfied. Don't ask Lin Sun how he heard it. He immediately explained the reason for the incident obediently. To him, this matter was like a thorn. It would be better to pull it out as soon as possible to avoid feeling guilty when facing his senior sister later. After hearing Lin Sun's explanation, Su Chinger's expression softened. She glanced at him unexpectedly. Do you like this? Lin Sun scratched his head. No, after all, the two of us often stay together, so it's a bit ambiguous. But since the last time, it's completely impossible for me and her to be together. Don't worry, senior sister.
I'm relieved.
Su Chinger smiled half-heartedly. What should I worry about? What are you talking about? There's nothing between us, so why are you worried about me? Lin Sun broke out in a cold sweat. It's okay. It's okay. I was speechless and said the wrong thing. At the same time, he felt a little disappointed. Yes, my senior doesn't like me, so why would she care about such a trivial matter? Lin Sun couldn't hide his emotions, and his whole face drooped. Su Chinger was startled when she saw this. She didn't expect that her words would cause such a big change in this little guy's mood. She had been struggling mentally since Su Qing left just now. Her behavior today was too abnormal, and it was not like what she, Su Chinger, was capable of doing. He actually fights openly and covertly with his first love. It's like being jealous. Well, jealous is not the right word. Do you like Lin Sun? No way. How do you feel about him? It seems like being with him makes you feel a little more relaxed than usual. While she was hypnotizing herself, she accidentally said the previous sentence. Obviously, her words hurt this little boy. For a moment, Su Chinger didn't know how to speak. Comforting, it seems like she has never had it before. However, Lin Sun's mood came and went quickly, and he quickly regained his composure. He licked the ice cream and praised, This ice cream is delicious. By the way, senior sister, where is Senior Jiang? Su Chinger glanced at him strangely, and then said, She is still in line. She is probably going to buy soda now. Lin Sun nodded. He glanced at the ice cream in Su Chinger's hand and reminded, Senior, if you don't eat the ice cream, it will melt. Su Chinger came back to her senses and glanced at the ice cream in her hand. Sure enough, under the high temperature, Most of the ice cream had melted, and the cream was flowing down from the side and was about to flow onto Su Chinger's white and tender fingers. Lin Sun had quick eyes and quick hands, and subconsciously stretched out his hand to help her catch the dripping cream. Unexpectedly, Su Chinger also moved at the same time, blocking the mouth of the ice cream with her other hand. Lin Sun's stretched out hand happened to hold her other hand. For a moment, both of them were stunned. Senior, I didn't mean it. Lin Sun's face suddenly became extremely embarrassed, and his whole face looked like a cooked shrimp. But having said that, my senior's hands are so soft and feel so comfortable to touch. Su Chinger looked at Lin Sun, who was anxious to explain, and said helplessly, "Why are you so surprised?" Lin Sun looked at her in surprise, wondering why she said that. Su Chinger said calmly, "So can you let go of your hand? How long do you plan to hold it for?"
Ah?
Lin Sun found that he was still holding the other person's hand and quickly let go. Seeing him so embarrassed, Su Chinger found it interesting. Even the cold face had a touch of softness. "What a nice view." Lin Sun was stunned. Su Chinger hummed, "What did you say?" Lin Sun raised a corner of his mouth and praised unabashedly, "Senior sister, you are so beautiful." Su Chinger pursed her lips, "Thank you." She felt something was wrong and quickly used ice cream to cover up her embarrassment. Lin Sun smiled. He felt that sometimes he should be bolder. Although secret love is beautiful, if you don't have the courage to confess it, you will only miss it in the end. After reading this, Lin Sun raised the corners of his mouth, revealing a natural smile, and his whole temperament seemed to have changed. Su Chinger looked at Lin Sun with some surprise. She found that this junior seemed to have become a little more handsome. It seems that he has become more of a male god from the sunny boy. What's the matter with this inexplicable sense of security? What's wrong with you? Are you smiling so happily? Zhang Yunxiao, who had just returned, looked at Lin Sun curiously. Lin Sun saw her and smiled. "You are back, Senior Zhang." Zhang Yunxiao nodded, and then handed him the plastic bag in his hand. "Here, your water." After Lin Sun thanked Su Chinger, he helped Su Chinger unscrew a bottle of soda and handed it to her, who took it politely. I said, "Why do I feel something is wrong about you two?" Zhang Yunxiao looked at the two of them curiously. Su Chinger was startled, and then she thought of what had just happened, and suddenly felt a little unnatural.
Oh yo-yo.
Sure. Why are you so embarrassed? It's so rare. Zhang Yunxiao looked at his best friend as if he had discovered a new world. Shut up. Su Chinger glanced at her lightly. Lin Sun drank the soda as if nothing had happened, as if everything had nothing to do with him. My heart is already blooming with joy. He felt that his relationship with his senior sister would be even better after today. After shopping for another hour, Su Chinger understood that Lin Sun had too many things in his hands, so he suggested to end it today. Soon, Lin Sun called a car for the two women, packed the large and small bags into the trunk, and waved goodbye to them. Lin Sun himself took another car back home. The young master is back. The maid greeted Lin Sun respectfully. The latter nodded slightly. Hello? He walked into the hall, leaving behind the maid who looked infatuated. Young master is so handsome today. In the living room, Gu Yinyan is doing skincare. She has been diligent in skincare recently, and the effect is very obvious. She is completely different from the ordinary woman before. Mom, I'm back. Lin Sun said hello. Gu Yinyan nodded in response, and then she woke up. My son is back? Hurry, come here. Lin Sun was about to go upstairs when he heard this and walked over. What's wrong, Mom? Gu Yinyan asked with a gossipy face. How was it? Did you have fun? Lin Sun nodded. It's pretty good, but the sun is a bit bright, but everything else is fine. Gu Yinyan said seriously. Who asked you this? I mean, how was the date? Lin Sun smiled helplessly. Mom, I just invited someone to have a meal. Where are you going on a date? Gu Yinyan smiled and said, inviting the girl you like to dinner is just a date, isn't it? Lin Sun was ashamed. What was going on with his mother's brain? What did you eat? Hot pot. Hot pot? Are you, the son of the richest man, treating her to hot pot? Is it because the money I gave you is not enough for you to treat her to a nice meal? Gu Yinyan's eyes widened. Lin Sun was confused. What's wrong? The hot pot is delicious. He saw the senior sister eating happily. Gu Yinyan hated the iron and said, Son, if you want to chase a girl, you have to put more effort into it. Don't save money or anything like that. Just throw it as hard as you can. Anyway, our family is not short of money. Girls like it. Generous boy. Lin Sun crossed his hands. Don't. You may have misunderstood. Not all girls like rich men. Anyway, don't worry about this, okay? I will take care of it. I'm going back to my room first. I've been shopping all day, and I need to take a shower first. After saying that, Lin Sun quickly got up and ran away without waiting for his mother to answer. Hey, this kid. Gu Yinyan looked at her son dumbfounded inside. After returning to the room, Lin Sun received a message from the fairy senior sister. Fairy senior sister, here we are. Is this a sign of peace? The corners of Lin Sun's mouth widened, feeling a little happy. At the same time, he replied, What a coincidence. Me too. Fairy senior sister. You have been carrying things all day today. Thank you for your hard work. Lin Sun's eyes widened, a little unbelievable. His fairy senior sister could actually care about people? Good guy. Unknowingly, have they progressed to this point? Lin Sun was about to reply when Su Chinger sent another message. Fairy senior sister, are you free tonight? Lin Sun was surprised and quickly replied, I'm free. After finishing the college entrance examination, he didn't have to work during the summer vacation. He was basically a salted fish, and he could do whatever he wanted. Fairy senior sister, will you accompany me somewhere in the evening? Lin Sun's face was filled with surprise. My senior sister took the initiative to date me?
Ah.
She took the initiative to ask me out. Reply. Okay. After finishing the chat, Lin Sun's face was full of excitement. He was so surprised. I was already very honored to be able to go shopping with Fairy Senior Sister today, but I never expected that there would be an unexpected surprise. Bath. He needs a nice-smelling bath. After a while, the sound of Lin Sun's dog barking came from the bathroom. I heard that when boys take a shower, they always think that they are singers and sing without thinking. Meanwhile, rentals. I'm so tired. Zhang Yunxiao stretched out. His graceful curves were so stunning, but it was a pity that no man was lucky enough to see them. Su Chinger glanced at her. Put your things away. Most of them were bought by Zhang Yunxiao, and she only had a few of her own. Zhang Yunxiao had no choice but to tidy things up resentfully, like a puppet on strings. Su Chinger sat on the computer chair, looking at the messages on her phone, and smiled slightly. She didn't know what happened to her, but she was alone at night with a boy she had only known for less than a week. Maybe I'm confused. Ginger.
Ah?
I'll lend you your car tonight and let me use it. You want to go out? What are you going out for? Go see my dad. Oh, do you want me to accompany you? Need not. Okay, stay safe alone, honey. Lin Sun stood by the bridge and sent a message to the fairy senior sister on WeChat to express that he had arrived. But the fairy senior sister didn't reply to him. It is now 19:30 in the evening. The evening breeze is slightly cool. The weather is not very good. The weather forecast says rain. Lin Sun also just discovered it and couldn't help but pray secretly, God, today is my first date with my beautiful senior sister. It must not end with rain. For tonight's date, it seems that it can't be called a date. In order to meet his senior sister, he changed his outfit again. His hair was also slightly processed, making it look a little fluffy. He also added a thin plaid to his upper body. The jacket makes the whole person energetic and handsome. The two agreed to meet on the bridge, where they first met. After hesitating for a moment, Lin Sun sent another message, but the other party still didn't reply. What's the situation? Is it already raining over there, senior sister? Not going out? A touch of disappointment came over me. At this moment, a small sheep car stopped beside him, and a cold voice stopped him. Hey, what are you doing? Lin Sun was startled, looked around, and said in surprise, Senior? At this time, Su Chinger was sitting on a small electric donkey, with a pair of long legs on the ground and a pink safety helmet on her head. Tonight, Su Chinger did not wear a skirt, but short sleeves and jeans, Still wearing the same pair of white sneakers, her hair was simply tied up, wearing a pink helmet and a mask, revealing only a pair of cold eyes. Lin Sun had never imagined before that Su Chinger, who was as beautiful as a fairy, could actually ride an electric donkey. He had always thought that a fairy senior sister would be more suitable with a sports car, but he did not expect that he would see a different side of her today. However, this discovery surprised him, as if fairies were not so out of reach. What to do if it's a little cute? Are you in a daze? Get in the car. Su Chinger reminded him when she saw this kid staring at her. Oh. Lin Sun quickly came over. Su Chinger handed him a helmet and said, "Put it on." Lin Sun took it and found that it was a new helmet. The label had not yet been removed. "Senior, is this specially bought for me?" Su Chinger hummed slightly. "This car belongs to Jiang Yun Xiao. It only has one helmet, so I went around to the store and bought one for you." It can be regarded as an explanation for her late arrival. There was indescribable love in Lin Sun's eyes. Haha, this is the first time my senior bought me something in a real sense. He decided to put this helmet on the bedside as a memorial when he returns. Just give it back to me before you go back. At this time, Su Chinger suddenly spoke up.
Ah?
Lin Sun was stunned for a moment, then a little disappointed. Did he just borrow it from himself? I'm just kidding. The corners of Su Chinger's mouth curved beautifully, but unfortunately Lin Sun couldn't see it through the mask. Idiot. How could she take back the things you wore? And it was originally bought for you, right? Lin Sun immediately turned from worry to joy. Thank you, senior. He put on his hat very quickly and happily stepped onto the back seat with one foot, etc. At this time, Su Chinger suddenly said, "What's wrong, senior?" Lin Sun's face turned red, and he looked at her with some confusion. Su Chinger said expressionlessly, "Shall I drive?" Lin Sun reacted and wanted to give himself a big mouth. Look at his emotional intelligence. How can you let your senior sister drive? Just now he was thinking about being able to sit behind his senior sister, maybe get a hug around the waist or something. So he was a little too carried away to react. Sorry, senior. Shall I drive?" Lin Xun immediately put down his seat on the back seat. Su Chinger responded, then took advantage of her long legs and moved directly to the back seat. Senior sister's legs are so long. Lin Sun couldn't help but sigh. Then he cheered up, not to embarrass himself again, and got into the front seat of the driver. He could still feel a bit of warmth under his body. Thinking that it was where the senior sister was sitting just now, Lin Sun's face turned red again, which was a little unnatural. Slower. Su Chinger's voice came from behind. Okay, senior sister, hold on tight. Lin Sun responded, and then gently twisted the handle. After a few slight turns, the little electric donkey drove straight forward. Su Chinger was sitting in the back seat. She did not hug Lin Sun's waist, but grabbed the iron rods on both sides of the seat cushion with both hands. She looked at Lin Sun's back. The boy's back was broad and strong, which gave her an inexplicable sense of security. And being so close, she didn't smell any sweat. Have you, the younger brother, taken a shower? Su Chinger had never been so close to a boy. Before this, she had never thought that this scene would happen to her. But she kept struggling in her mind, and finally a voice from the bottom of her heart told her that there are some things that you can only know if you can accept them if you try them. So she is slowly changing herself, targeting Lin Sun. After getting in touch with him during this period, she found that this boy was a little special. He was different from other boys, so she was willing to try to get closer. If it's not what she wants in the end, then, however, when she is with her younger brother, her character can't help but become a bit gentler. She cannot be as indifferent to him as she is to others. Maybe there was something shining about the other person that attracted her. It remains to be investigated for now. Senior, where are we going? Lin Sun's inquiry came from the front. Su Chinger said, I'll give you the navigation, just follow it. Good. Lin Sun responded, and then his timid voice came over again. Well, senior sister, if you are tired by holding on to both sides, you can hold on to my clothes. Su Chinger was stunned. She didn't expect Lin Sun to say that. To be honest, holding her sides did make her feel a little unnatural. Her arms were sore and tired, and she had to keep her distance at all times, which made her a little too nervous. After thinking about it, she quietly retracted her hand, and then grabbed the clothes around Lin Sun's waist. Well, Su Chinger, you are a cold goddess, and the other person is just a younger brother. Why are you shy and nervous? Come on. You have to take the initiative. Following Su Chinger's directions, Lin Sun was surprised to find that this road was to the cemetery. On the way, when passing by a flower shop, Su Chinger stopped Lin Sun, and then she went in alone. When she came out a few minutes later, she had a bouquet of white chrysanthemums in her hand. Lin Sun's expression suddenly became serious. He realized that this trip seemed to be very important to the fairy senior sister. Why are you nervous? On the road again, Su Chinger also noticed Lin Sun's tense body, sweating slightly. Lin Sun's hoarse voice sounded, "Senior sister, is my dress today too informal?" He thought that this time his senior sister only asked him to go shopping and eat, and he never expected to come to the cemetery. He looks like a loser. Wouldn't it be a good idea to go to the cemetery? Su Chinger was stunned for 2 seconds, and then she realized what the boy was worried about, and said softly, "It's okay. It's good for you to be like this. You're very handsome." The young man was very keen, discovered her thoughts, and considered the problem for her from her perspective. This showed that this young man had been paying attention to her. Thinking of this, the corners of Su Chinger's mouth under the mask raised slightly, and her only visible eyes also softened. Unfortunately, Lin Sun, who was driving, was destined to be unable to see it. The cemetery seemed very quiet at night. Only a few strangers were still walking around the cemetery, and they seemed to be here to visit the deceased. Lin Sun parked the electric donkey next to the entrance and walked into the cemetery with Su Chinger. "Senior, watch your step," Lin Sun reminded softly. "The streetlights here are not very bright. I can only barely see the road clearly." After Lin Sun was reminded, he quickly turned on the flashlight on his mobile phone to illuminate Su Chinger's feet.
Su Cincinnati lightly.
A few minutes later, the two of them had gone deep into the cemetery and came to a tombstone. Su Chinger looked at the gray and white portrait on the tombstone and was lost in thought for a moment. Lin Sun also looked at the tombstone. The portrait looked like a middle-aged man, with a very serious appearance, but a kind look on his brows, and full of upright features. It can be seen that he must have been a great person when he was young.
Su Cheng.
This is his name. No need to ask, Lin Sun knew that this was Su Chinger's father. "Senior sister, she has no father." I don't know why, but Su Chinger's back looked a little lonely and sad at this time. Lin Sun felt a pang in his heart, and the feeling of pity grew and amplified. He wanted to hold the senior sister in his arms and be her support. Su Chinger looked at the portrait in trance for a while, then slowly lowered her body and placed the bouquet in her hand in front of the tombstone. "He is my father. He was a great people's policeman during his lifetime. During a bomb disposal incident, in order to prevent the masses from being affected, he fought alone with the gangsters. Finally, when he was about to grab the bomb, he was held by the gangsters and fell into the heat, entered the river, and eventually the bomb exploded, and he never came back."
Su Quincy spoke softly.
Lin Sun knew that she was talking to him, and his expression was a little complicated. "Is it the bridge where we first met?"
Su Quincy nodded lightly, "Yes."
Lin Sun opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but he didn't know how to speak. That night, she thought she was going to jump into the river, so she stopped her, and the two met for the first time. Only then did Lin Sun understand why the cold goddess would go out of her way to talk to a stranger. Yes, with Su Chinger's personality, she would never take the initiative to strike up a conversation with a boy. She also hated boys. To be honest, if someone else seemed about to jump into the river that night, she would have spoken out. When she saw and thought about jumping into the river, she would think of her father who fell into the river. At that time, it was just that person who happened to be him. At this moment, Lin Sun didn't know whether he should be grateful or what his emotions were. Too complicated. Su Chinger looked at the tombstone and said slowly, "My mother has always advised my father not to rush ahead all the time when working. My father always laughed it off. In the end, there was only a pennant, and the cold bank card was lying on the bedside table in my mother's room, and he never came back. My mom lost her husband and I lost my dad. Sometimes I think about how every police officer who dies will suffer a blow to the family behind him. They are also a husband, a wife, a child, and a father. Pay tribute to every people's policeman who silently contributes to society. Lin Sun couldn't bear it anymore, so he made the boldest decision today. He gently hugged Su Chinger into his arms and said softly, "Senior sister, if you feel uncomfortable, just cry. There are no outsiders here. I am willing to bear your tears. Uncle, he is great. I think if he is given another chance, he should and will make this choice. He is an amazing person. You living a good life is the greatest reward for him." Su Chinger did not resist Lin Sun's embrace. On the contrary, at this time, she showed an unprecedented weakness. After so many years, her disguise was finally taken off at this moment, after meeting someone to rely on. Lin Sun's embrace made her feel a strong sense of security, and her fierce heartbeat gradually calmed down. Like a kitten, Su Chinger nuzzled gently in Lin Sun's arms and slowly closed her eyes. At this moment, she was not the cold goddess Su Chinger, nor a fairy, just a fragile, ordinary girl. No matter what happens in the future, right now, she just wants to take a breath. Lin Sun gently stroked Su Chinger's back. At this time, his heart was not filled with charm, but full of heartache. He decided that he must make his senior sister happy every day. "Senior sister, let him protect you." The two of them stayed in this mood for several minutes. After Su Chinger completely calmed down, she said in a hoarse voice, "Have you hugged me enough?" Lin Sun gently let go of Su Chinger. He was not as shy as before, but said gently, "Are you feeling better?" Su Chinger nodded lightly, "Thank you." Lin Sun grinned, "Senior sister, I actually think it's good that you are like this. You are not as unattainable as usual and make people feel very kind." Su Chinger glanced at him indifferently. "Why do you feel so friendly? Do you want a large group of people to bother me?" Lin Sun was stunned for a moment, and then realized what he was doing. Yes, if the fairy senior sister is really that weak and gentle, wouldn't she attract a lot of crazy entanglements from a large group of suitors? By then, wouldn't his love rival's fighting power be greatly enhanced?
No.
Absolutely not. You can only see this side of senior sister by yourself. Su Chinger glanced at Lin Sun, who was gradually getting into the drama, and raised the corner of her mouth, with a hint of warning in her voice. "It's better that you know what happened tonight." Lin Sun immediately promised, "Don't worry, Senior. I promise I will never tell anyone." The fact that Senior is actually a gentle girl. Su Chinger's face froze, and a murderous look flashed across her eyes. She looked at Lin Sun with a half-smile, and curled her lips. "Junior, come here." "Senior, what's the matter?" Lin Sun leaned over. Unexpectedly, Su Chinger reached out and grabbed his ear, and twisted it gently. "Ouch! Senior sister, have mercy. Be gentle. I was wrong." Boom! At this time, there was a sudden loud noise in the sky. Both of them were shocked. "It is going to rain?" Lin Sun frowned. Su Chinger said softly, "Let's go back." Lin Sun was a little regretful. Had he gone back so soon? Swish, brush, brush. The heavy rain came at a moment's notice, giving them no time to react.
So fast?
"Senior sister, let's take shelter from the rain first," Lin Sun said quickly, subconsciously holding Su Chinger's little hand and running towards the exit. Su Chinger felt a little strange when she looked at the hand held by the boy. She doesn't seem to object to the closeness of her younger brother. This guy always did things subconsciously that made her feel warm. But it seems that this feeling is not bad.